Hello, my dear students. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you are well. COVID 19 has made our life totally slow. It's unfortunate we couldn't realize suddenly it has descended on us. I Today I am going to talk about our class, but before going to class, I will tell you something. A couple of months ago, Kashmir was under lockdown. I have noticed a story on FB. Normally, I don't use FB, but I noticed it. Before going to the class, I will tell you the story, whether the story is true or not. A Kashmiri girl with her relatives, some relatives, through the window is seeing something and telling some people, brother, we are under lockdown, we are kept in like a jail or prison, but we are not criminal, but only Kashmiri people are tortured. Can you understand or realize what sufferings we are experienced? The brother is like a journalist, he has noticed it, and the girl is telling, please, in your vicarious position, you should know what our suffering is. Tell the world what we are going through. Otherwise, I will tell the Almighty, the whole world will be under lockdown one day. A couple of months ago, Kashmir had experienced such kinds of things. But today, what happened? Not only Kashmir, but also over the world, we are under lockdown, and each and every home is like a prison cell. We are not prisoner, we are not criminal, but we are experienced like Kashmir. So we should think about other people. If something is good for us, something is good for others. And if something is bad for me, and it will be bad for others, we have to think like this. Injustice, wrongdoings, we should remove, not only in our country but also over the world. This is the problem. Anyway, I have told you many things. I am Razu Ahmed, lecturer in English, Ideal College virtual class. I welcome to you. Today I am going to talk about preposition. Preposition doesn't have individual meaning, but in a sentence it has kept a position and shows or expresses some meaning. Without preposition, a sentence cannot be complete. It cannot make the clear sense. First of all, I will show you something. You will note it down, take a copy, and you will note it down. It will be helpful for you. For example, the book is the table. This is the sentence. There is a subject, verb, object, all are here. But can it show the clear meaning? No. If we put a preposition between the two things before a noun phrase, it has the meaning. On is a preposition, then it will clear the meaning. We can use also under. But if we put under, it doesn't have logical or rational meaning. So while we are choosing preposition, we should think carefully what preposition, in which way we will use in the sentence. Now, today we will use or discuss about some most used preposition. One by one I will discuss. You will note it down. First of all, we are talking about at, in, and on. These three prepositions are used enormously. Those three prepositions are used in two conditions or circumstances. First one is time, second one is place. First we will talk about time. How we will use at, in, and on in the sentence to express the time. First of all, I am coming at. I will give you some example, it will be clear. Okay. Our class starts at 8:30 and breaks up 12 o'clock. I saw you at the wedding ceremony. I will meet you at lunch time. He normally leaves bed at dawn. That is, before sunshine, he left the bed. What we see? At 8:30, 12 o'clock, then at the wedding ceremony, then at lunch time, then at dawn. So we can say at plus clock time, or at the weekend. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about in. Okay. In. The cowboy leads cows to house in the evening. Saba roams in the late afternoon. He wakes in the early morning. Kazi Nazrul was born in 1903. Our college will resume in September, perhaps. I applied for the post in March 2020. So what we see? We can say in plus longer time or part of the day. Have you got the point? Now we are coming to on. I will meet you on Friday. We will celebrate I will go on to I visit you on each day. So we can say on plus particular day. Now we will compare at, in and on. There are something we are comparing in and on. As we see, on particular day we are using on, and in a part of the day we are using in. But now I leave bed in the morning, but I leave bed on Friday morning. When we use a day, we cannot use in. We should use on before a particular day. Have you got the point? My dear students, now we are going to talk about some particular expressions. About in. I will be back. In a few minutes. That is on or before. For example, I will be back. I am supposed to back at 8:30. I come back before or exact 8:30. That time I can say I will be back in a few minutes. I learned driving in 4 weeks. That is, I took 4 weeks to learn driving. Now we are comparing in time and on time. Our class is supposed to start at 8:30 and the class started at 8:30. The class started at 8:30. This is called on time because, as I told you a couple of times ago, the class is supposed to start at 8:30 and the class started at 8:30, just time. We can say on time. But the class is supposed to start at 8:30, or we can say students are told to enter the classroom 8:30 or before 8:30. That time we can say in time. In time means before the time or exact time. Another example. I saw a boy crossing the road. I managed the boy held crossing the road in time to avoid accident. We can use here in time. Now we are going to use in, at and on for place. Before going to place, I will recap at, in and on for time. At normally we use clock time or a weekend time. In in a part of the day or in a longer period we use in. However, we use on a special day. And there are some difference between in time and on time, and some phrases like in a few minutes, in a couple of minutes we have seen. My dear students, you will take note and you will make sentence by your own way and practice. Inshallah, you can gather knowledge how to use at, in and on. Then further problem you will let us know or let me know. I will again discuss. Now we are going to talk about at, in and on for places. It's very important. In different way we are using at, in and on. First of all, we are coming at. At is used especially as a position or in a point. Now we are giving some example. Is hot at the center of the earth. I stand at the door. He stops at the bus stand. At is used in various places. One by one we will go. I have given you 3 examples here. That means, what's the position of you? For example, there is a door here. Just you are standing here before the door. You can say, you couldn't say or you can't say, I am standing before the door. Rather, you have to say, I stand at the door. That is, what is your position? Now another example, I kept the TV at the corner of the room. For example, there is a room. At the corner of the room, I have kept the TV. Another example, there is a ball at the corner of the road. Now, for social activities, we use at. I saw him at the party, theater, or a club. Now, at also used to see is, speed, distance, temperature, so on and so forth. Now, Kazi Nazrul died at the age of 76. The car runs at 50 miles speed. Can you read the number plate at the car? That means it shows the distance. Water boils at 100-degree temperature. At also used means of result. For example, my father became angry at my behavior. At also used where we work. For example, I studied at private university. You studied at public university, you can write. Just I am showing an example. People seek work at rich companies. At also used at the position. For example, good student sit at the front bench. However, bad students sit at the back bench. His name is at the top or at the bottom of the page. At also used to show direction. Garment workers throw stone at police. Now we will compare. Before going to compare, I have shown there are 10 positions how we will use at. There are lots of positions, but if you keep remembering it, I think you can gain how to use at. Now we are going to use in the place. Normally we see in is used in a surrounding place, or like a board is an enclosed area, or something is covered with something else. We use in. For example, now Syrian people live in makeshift tent. Karwan Bazar, street children, sleeps in the bag. There is water in the bottle. Used to describe, in also used to describe physical position. For example, don't run in the sun. Whatever you are seeing or existing something, you can use in. Paddy grows in the field. While we are using something in a paragraph, then we can realize how we'll use in. By practice, you can realize or understand. I have shown only 2 or 3 positions. You will guess the point. Now we are going to use on. On normally used especially horizontal or vertical something. In these places or cases we use on. For example, Mr. Maruf lives on the top of the floor, on the top of the building. Water flows on the floor. Used to show direction. For example, on the right or left side. Or another example, he lives on the border between India and Bangladesh. Another example we can see immediately after something or soon. For example, report me on his arrival. That is, when he arrives, you will report me. Or on information, the police arrested him or the criminal, whatever you can say. Now, eating or drinking, we use on. We live on rice. That is, by taking rice we can live. On is used near to something else. The town on the coast. Sarah lives on the island. we are going to use on public transport. Especially while we are using public transport, we sometimes or most of the times use on in a different cases. For example, public transport. I am on the bus. That is, I am inside the bus. We cannot say I am in the bus. But I am in the car. I left or got off the bus. That is, I have left the bus or I am out of the bus. But we use I get or got out of the car. Now we are comparing at, in and on in different places, considering on the meaning or gauging power or realization. Now we will compare at first, at and in. Earlier I told you as a position or a situation we use at, but now how we will use in? I stand at the bus stoppage. I stand or I saw him at the club. But if we say I saw, or if we say there is a bottle in the club, or I saw him in the club, that is, he went to the club to spend some time. Now, according to this example, say for example, there is a bottle here, okay? Inside a bottle, water. We say there is water in the bottle, or we pour water, or I pour water in the bottle. But on the bottle or skin on the bottle or outside of the bottle something is written. Then we can say something is written or on the bottle. Another example. I stand at principal's door. Okay? But no smoking written or is written on the door. That is, you have to understand what is the position of at, in and on. You have to realize, and according to the situation you will use at, in and on. Now another example for comparison on at and in. For example, at and in we will compare. At the end or at the beginning. At the end of the course or the class, we will arrange an exam. that is not finally, or at the end of the month Eid is celebrated. That is, this month may be 24, 25, 26 or 27, whatever date it is. We cannot fix the date. At the end of the month, Eid is celebrated. Like this, at the beginning of the month, our class remained or remains off or closed. That is at first. But if we say in the end, that is finally. For example, in the end of the course, we will arrange an exam. The exam is called final exam or first semester or second semester or third semester, whatever you are saying. Have you got the point? How will you use at, in or on? Dear students, I think you are confused. No. If we talk or if we practice part by part while you are watching the video, part by part you will discuss or practice. Some students or your friends, or individually if you make sentence or if you practice something in your final exam or HSC board exam, there is a paragraph given. Going to the paragraph, you will understand the meaning and you can easily pick up or choose what preposition in which way you will use. Easily you can understand. Don't be confused. It's easy. Practice, ultimately you can know and you can learn more than me. The more practice, the more development of your knowledge. Now we are going to discuss about over and above. And over, both meaning higher than, both, but sometimes it differs sentence to sentence. For example, water came above or over our knees. We were flying above or over clouds, but not directly. We will use above. For example, I have got a small house above the lake. For example, there is a lake, water flows. Beside a lake, there is a small house. It's not directly. For example, think imaginatively, you will understand. There is a house here. You can use above, not over. If we see more than something, especially measure, is, or level, we can use above. For example, the inflation is related to economy is above 80%. We can't accept children above the age of 12. The temperature is 3 degree above 0. The peak of Everest is about 800 meters above sea level. These kinds of situations, that means while we are measuring something, while we are considering the age, while we are leveling something, considering the sea level, we cannot use over, rather we should use above. Where we use over, for example, over normally use covering something. For example, there is cloud over the south city of Dhaka. The plane was flying over our head. Electric cable stress over, here we can use also across the field. Such situation we can use over. Basically, for example, something is going from here to there, like, say for example there is a human being here and the plane is flying from here to there, we can use like over. That is why I am saying covering something we will use over, but individually if you think about age, number, level, we can use above also. Now we will compare about over and above. Comparison, above and over. The house is above the lake, means earlier already I have shown you that is beside the lake. Not we can say beside the lake, we have to use, that means above the lake. But if we are talking about one position to changing into another position, that time we are using over. The girl jumps over the wall, or also you can use across the wall. Above and over up to here. And now we are going to compare between about and on. About and on. About is more common in general situation. For example, a book is about BD means Bangladesh and its people also. The book is related to BD's people, culture, everything, study, all of the things are kept in this book. That means it's more common about. But a book is on BD's history. His history is unique, only one thing. So while we are using on is on a particular situation. For example, I am working on this ministry. That is only this ministry I am working. I cannot use another ministry. On is used in a particular situation. More example. A conversation about world politics. But if we use a conversation on British politics, a lecture is on English. Normally we use before English where we use in, but English or economics. Now we are going to talk about across, over and through. First of all, across and over. We are talking about across and over. My village is just across or over the border. Can you jump over or across the lake? He walks across or over the field or grass field, whatever you can say. If you think or see that higher, then over is preferred. For example, he was climbing over the trees. He jumps over the wall. But in a flat situation, we will use across. For example, flat area, we use across. He walked across the desert. Now we will compare about across and over or across and through. Finally, we see that over is used especially changing from one situation to another, and across is a straight or flat level we will use. Now we will compare across and through. Across and through. I walked across the ice. That is, I am in the ice. I walked through the wood. That is, in the wood. Wood means forest. We drove across the desert, but we drove through the several towns. How we will realize that? How can we choose across and through? Now we can take a decision in three-dimensional positions. Three-dimensional positions. Position we use through. For example, I am walking through the garden, not across the garden. If we see three-dimensional position, we will use through. And if we see two-dimensional or normal position, we will, or flat situation, we will use across. Now we are going to use along. I saw him running along the road. His office is along the corridor. Normally along is used road, river, bridge, line, etc. But to a period, we prefer through. For example, through the century, we have been suffering from different pandemic like COVID-19, coronavirus, whatever you are calling or addressing it. Now, we will use today's our last topic we are discussing in and into, on and onto. While we are saying, earlier we discussed in and on vertical or horizontal position we discussed on, and in a particular or surrounding or enclosed area we used in. Now into something movement, something is moving or going on, we can use into, and like the same way we will use onto also. Just I am giving some example. I found a ball was in the bowl. That means in a goalpost is a square like or rectangular like, whatever you can treat it. Okay, you have seen, or I have seen it in the goal. There is a ball inside the goal. Now, but the ball rolled slowly into the goal. That is, the ball is going slowly into the goal. That means movement is seen here. Now, Mr. Maruf is in the garden. That is in a state position or a state position in the garden. But the same person is walking or roaming into his house. On and onto. We are talking about on and onto. The cat is on the roof again. How does it get onto the roof? There are some certain verbs, they don't take especially into or onto. Those verbs are push, throw, put, fall, jump. Normally we are talking, I am going into the pond. That means moving. But while you are talking about jumps, go and jump. In the river, need not into, because jump is a moving verb. That's why we are not using into. Here we are using in. Throw another log on the fire. That means trees, sectors or part, just you will put on the fire. Now, into is used for changing condition from one place to another, one situation to another situation. For example, she kissed the frog and it changed into a beautiful prince. Can you translate it into French or Bangla? Cut the onion into small pieces. Today, up to here. Next class, there are certain or more prepositions we will discuss. Then we will follow some phrasal verbs, and finally we will go to the paragraph like questions and we will solve. Whatever discussion we have made today, just you will note down and practice. I have given you some sentences, but I request you, dear students, you will make another sentence and apply. Our most of the students, they have faced some problems, especially they could not apply the apply the words, how they use the words. If you may make mistake. Through making mistake you can learn. So you will practice and you will make sentence. And before coming next class, if you have some problem, you will jot it down or note down. You can email me or you can write something on comment. Then I will discuss up to here today some prepositions, and there are some prepositions left. Next class we will discuss. Up to here today, have a good time. Stay home, stay safe, and take care of your health and seek blessing from the Almighty. Only the Almighty can recover us, otherwise not possible. So, finally, have a good time. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, my dear students.